Hello and welcome to a new video here on my channel here at commaik. Today the new liner will be installed in our pool. I'll take you along for the process. But first, I need to prepare a few small things and I'll show you those in this video as well. If you want to know what you need to pay attention to and how to install a liner in a concrete pool, then stay tuned, we're about to get started. The renovation of our pool from a steel wall pool to a stone basin is entering the final phase. Today the liner will finally be installed, and after that the pool can be filled with water. Then the swimming can begin. The walls have been plastered, and before the liner can now be welded in, a few small things still need to be done. Among other things, there are still some rough corners up here from the plastering, which I will sand down cleanly today. I'll also take a closer look at the steps again and fix any imperfections accordingly. I also need to treat the inlet nozzles again. There's still Teflon thread, the Teflon tape from the test run hanging on them, and all of that needs to be cleaned, and then the nozzles need to be installed precisely, and I'll show you all of that here today in this video. I'll sand down the edges on the top with a grinding disc. For the spots where that doesn't work so well on the surface, I'll use the sanding pad together with my angle grinder. By the way, you can find all the materials down in the description. In the description, you'll also find the playlist for this entire project, because some time ago there was still a steel walled pool here, which over time was gradually converted step by step into this stone pool. And if you want to know how each stage of the process went, take a look at the top right. I'll link the playlist there so you can watch every single step and each video individually. I'll start now by sanding down the edges. Afterwards, I'll cut my concrete strips from the pool house here off. I'll have to remove the tar underneath because this concrete doesn't get along at all with the liner. And after that, the installation of the liner can begin. The defects on the steps, I filled them with putty and then smoothed them out. I also made some repairs to the surface as well as to the floor. There were also a few small holes here that I filled in. But as you can see, even more has happened, because after 2 months without any real rain, a severe storm has been forecast for today. Of course, that's just perfect. Today of all days it has to rain, but no problem. I set up my 8x4 meter tent, anchored it, and that should allow the work here to continue smoothly in the dry. By the way, this would be exactly the right moment to give me some feedback. What do you think of this project? How do you like my video? Give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. And if you haven't already, take a look down here in the corner. That's where you'll find the subscribe button. Just click it so you don't miss any of my new videos. first part of the work is now done. The walls have been carefully lined with a high-quality pool liner. First, sturdy rails were attached to the top edge and firmly screwed into the solid base. The liner was then spot welded to these rails and subsequently welded over the entire surface and pressed on. There is a fleece between the liner and the wall. In my case, it should be 400 grams per square meter. When I press against it, you can tell that the whole thing is a bit softer. The sides have also already been welded together. The overlap is a good 5 centimeters. The floor is also laid in a cove. Today, the work continues. The steps, the bench seat, and of course the floor will also be covered with the liner and then welded to the side sections. The built-in components are usually only installed at the very end. With the lamp, however, I had to make a compromise because I wasn't sure if the cable that comes with the lamp would be long enough to reach all the way to the other side and still leave enough cable here to lift the lamp out in case it needs to be repaired. For this reason, I have already installed the lamp and the length is sufficient. The skimmer is located here in this opening. I think you can see it a little bit. It will only be installed at the very end, just like the inlet nozzles, because when the water flows in, the liner is pulled down by the pressure of the water and stretched tight. And only when the water is just below the built-in components, only then will the component be installed, meaning the liner will be cut. I'm curious to see what it will all look like when I'm finished here. Just one more day and then I can finally start swimming. What do you think? Do you like the project? Then give it a thumbs up now or leave me a comment under the video, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button over there on the side. 3 weeks have passed since the pool was filled with water, and the water level is staying right where it should be. The pool is watertight. The liner was welded all the way around. On the floor and on the sides, the liner was first welded and bonded together using a liner welding device. Afterwards, the seams were cleaned and then resealed with a liquid liner adhesive. The edges are also welded across the corners, making the whole thing absolutely stable. The angle, or rather the entire surrounding frame to which this liner is welded, was bonded directly on the inside with a sealant right here and then additionally screwed in place. But to make sure that no water can get behind this liner, I also sealed this angle all the way around with silicone. The stair treads are covered with a different material. This is also a liner, but it is much rougher, so there is no risk of slipping, falling, and getting injured when stepping onto the deck. We laid this material over the entire surface of the stairs as well as the lounging area on the side and welded it to the blue base. The skimmer, the two jets, as well as the built-in spotlight located down there were also integrated into the liner. For this, the liner was applied over the entire surface, and as the water level rose, the built-in components were installed and the liner was cut out to create the necessary openings. These areas are now also completely watertight. I have set the temperature of my water heater to 28 degrees Celsius, and I think the temperature has been reached and maintained for several days now, even though we currently have outside temperatures of around 35 to 37 degrees. So at the moment, the water is still absolutely refreshing. Now that the pool is already up and running, I can start thinking about what the outdoor area, the grounds outside, should look like in the future. This area back here, the recess from the old steel wall pool, I will fill in and extend the terrace deck around it. I will also extend the terrace deck over the roof of the pool house, along the side and then back around to this area here. I will cover the edges. At the moment, I'm still not really sure whether I should do it all with coping stones, with special pool edge stones, or with sturdy tiles, window sills or something else. But what's important to me is that the stone extends beyond the edge of the pool, because as you can see quite well here, the distance from the water line to the surface is not very high. We're talking about a good 5 centimeters here. If you splash around vigorously in the water, a large portion of the water will spill over the edge of the pool, flow away and be lost. But if the stones extend out here by a certain amount, the water that hits them from below would flow back into the pool. That's my goal. But I won't tackle this construction project until later, sometime in the fall or maybe even next year. I'm curious to hear what ideas you have about this. Just write me your suggestions in the comments below on how I can solve this in a sensible, practical and above all affordable way. I would also be very happy if you could give me some general feedback on my project, the pool construction and this video. Just take a look at the playlist below the video. By now you'll find over 10 parts there, from the demolition of the old steel wall pool that used to be here to the current state, and of course even beyond that. I hope my video was informative and entertaining for you. Give me a thumbs up if you think so too, I would really appreciate it. Also, take a look at the description. I've included some links there to other videos, external sources, and of course to the materials I used here. So if you're looking for parts, just click on them. The price stays the same for you, and I get a small bonus for me and my channel. At this point, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. There's a little photo montage coming up next, so just stay tuned. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.